Okay, it says checking connection and preparing to go live stream. So we're still waiting, but apparently we are now live. So welcome to this week's Cosmic Conversation. I am Stacy Harder with my mother, Dr. Heather Harder. We meet here every Thursday. It's a free gathering and it's a place to come. We do guided meditation and all kinds of questions. So really, our conversation is based on the questions you ask or what you want to know. It is, for me, a place to know that you are not alone in this world, and there is so much shifting and going on that, to me, this is a nice place to come together and kind of answer some of those questions that you have. How does this work? What is this going on? So I'm going to let my mother take over, and then I get to do some technological stuff. Technological, whatever. Okay, go ahead, Hada. You're muted, so you have to unmute. You're unmuted, so I can't hear you. You have to unmute.
I'm unmuted.
Okay.
Y'all can hear me now, should I choose to talk. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I don't feel like saying anything right now. It's like we're done. Okay. First of all, we ask for guidance, protection, and truth. There's so much information coming on the planet in all different directions. Some of it's authentic truth, and some of it is a lot of fake news. And so we want to first screen out everything that's not serving us, that isn't truth, and just allow truth to be a part of our journey. You can do it in any kind of way. Just set the intention to know that as if you allow it, you have all the guidance in the universe working for you. You have all the protection in the universe, should you allow it, and that truth becomes much more evident when you allow it, when you ask for it. So that's the first part. Then we go to the second part then, which is to ask for, we start playing in the energy of the light, and we do some light work, and then we come back and do whatever we're guided to do. So with that said, we'll start. Stacy, since you're playing online, are there any questions or anything that people want to know? The people on the call, if you have questions or things that you want to ask before we do the light work, then you can raise your hand electronically or physically. Just let me know that you have a question. So,
Go ahead.
Anybody?
There are no questions at this moment, but if you have a question, feel free to write them in. It is my duty and obligation to read them. And I will probably preface that it is a question coming in because she answers them differently. All right. There's no questions that I see at this moment.
Okay. And so, as our friend Jennifer C says, ready spaghetti. I've never heard that before, Jen, but we're ready spaghetti. And with that, what I'd like you to do is just of all just sit. Just imagine the whole day's energy, the whole week's energy just sort of dripping off of you, melting in the light and just melting from you. We pick up all kinds of energetic goodies as we traverse this planet, and it's nice just to have a minute to let it go. So just feel it wash away from you, feel it wash over you, feel it just dissolve, neutralize. And this is just pre-getting ready. Also do an inventory. How are you feeling? How are you breathing? Just look at everything in your self and just notice how you're doing. If there's stress, just breathe into it, let it go. And then if you will, in this clear, calmer state, I would like you just to send energy to all those who need it. This is a huge opportunity to become stressed, to become unraveled. Time is speeding up. Everything's intensifying. So just send love to everyone who needs it, everyone who wants it. And if you need it or want it, then open yourself up to receive it as well. This is just our prep. And now, if you're ready, go to your happy place. Go to your center. Same place. Now, my happy place is a beach. Yours may be something else. That happy place is the place where you're most connected to the divine, most connected to your divine forces, your cosmic team. You are most in alignment with all that is when you're in this intention. It can look like something, it can look like nothing. Either way is fine. Just take a deep breath and be in this place of center. And then imagine a huge pillar of light. And then step into this pillar of light, this beam, like a spotlight on a stage. It puts you in the focus. It puts you in that beam of light. And as light comes down from heaven to you and through you into the earth, you become one with all that is. Just feel that energy as it penetrates every cell in your body. Feel that energy as it balances every cell, every atom, right down to your DNA strands. Just feel it washing, cleansing, balancing, healing. And whether you've had the jab or not, just imagine this light clearing the blood, clearing all of your systems. Like a cosmic cleaner, you're putting everything back to its original state. Loving, healing, balancing, restoring, rejuvenating. When you're ready, just affirm, I am divine. I am whole and healthy. I'm experiencing my divine, perfect experiences. I am one with the universe. I am one with the earth. I am all powerful. I am all knowing. I can heal, balance, restore anything and everything. Feel yourself grow more powerful, more confident, more competent, more capable as energy infuses into you and through you. And then imagine sending this light and love into the earth from this very empowered place, love this planet. See your light travel through it, around it, in it, impacting every cell, every creature, every aspect of life on Earth. Send this light and love out into the atmosphere. This is a protective layer around the planet. It's very important. So as you love the Earth, just see that light and love expand out to incorporate the atmosphere. And the atmosphere and the Earth, as they interact, create weather patterns, the tool for balancing and harmonizing this planet. And so love the weather patterns. Just imagine you're looking at a weather map, and wherever you see the weather, just love it. It's all divinely perfect. You are exactly where you need to be, experiencing exactly what you need to experience. Send this light and love out into the mass consciousness of this planet. That wonderful energetic force that connects all of humanity, all of God's creators and creations. It connects all things. It is a repository of all thoughts and actions. It is the great influencer on the planet. So just fill this consciousness with divine energy. Indeed, our joy and our journey for this go-round is to herald in the divine consciousness to this planet. The more we love it, the more we add light to it, the more we make this happen. Send love and light to all those influencers on the planet, whether they're known or unknown, whether they're in front of the scenes or behind the scenes, whether they're human or other life forms. Just love, 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 love all those who influence this planet and its destiny. Love all those who are working so diligently to bring in the fifth dimensional consciousness planet, to bring in that awareness that we're all one, to bring in love as the major force of perception on this planet. Love them. And love those who are resisting it, who are doing so much pushback, who are trying to keep the planet the same. Love them. Love all those in between. What we'll say the light movers and shakers, and those that dim the lights, that want to keep everything status quo and keep this hierarchy of control and domination. Just love them. It's a game that you've agreed to be a part of. You have a role in this drama. Affirm that you are always open to doing your part. Affirm that you want to be the master of your fate and to honor and respect the fate of all others. and that all things are divinely perfect. Just love them. Love those who are healthy in this moment as we define health. Love those who are not healthy in this moment as we define not healthy. It's all perfect. Love those who are living fully. Love those who are dying slowly. Just love them. Love those who have the courage to live their biggest life, to take the biggest step. And love those who hide in the corner afraid, fearing to stand out, fearing to make ripples, fearing to make a difference. Love those who stand tall in their spiritual truths. And love those who hide in the closet. Give permission to the angels to use our love in any way and every way that serves this planet. I'm going to be quiet for a moment and let you have an opportunity to send this love to your family and friends and anyone that you feel needs it or wants it. Love those who work on behalf of Divine Plan. Love those who struggle against Divine Plan. Love those who are being controlled, manipulated, fooled. Love those who are doing the manipulation, those who are controlling. Love those who courageously claim their sovereignty every day. Imagine amplifying them, growing them bigger and bigger so that more and more people recognize what it takes to live as a sovereign human being. Bring that to awareness, bring it to our mindfulness. Allow each of us to become a model of sovereignty, to live in our truth. And let each of us be at peace with the pace of this planetary transformation. All things are in divine order. And the divine plan is perfect. And we are happy and proud to be a part of it. Take a deep breath and imagine opening your consciousness, opening your hearts, your souls, your minds, your body, every aspect of who you are, and let this love come back to you. The more you send out love, the more it has to return in order to keep the flow going. As it comes to you and through you, it goes into the heavens and into the earth. It causes you to stand taller, more courageous, in your life skin. Deep breath. All things we're grateful. So be it. When you're ready, just pull yourself back into your own skin. Recognizing you are amazing. You are an example of divinity made manifest. The more you use your powers, the stronger they become. And there's nothing more powerful than love. So, are there any questions or comments? Do it in the self-inventory again. And how are you feeling now? How are you breathing? Hopefully you're a bit more calm, a bit more peaceful. Anybody have any comments? Or I can feel every pump of my heart. Wonderful. And the more you're aware of it, the more you can control those pumps. You can speed up your heart, you can slow down your heart. It's just a matter of becoming mindful of it. So,
And with that, Esme, I'd be curious too, do you feel stronger being on Zoom with us versus being on Instagram?
you have to unmute yourself if you're going to talk, or you can just write it in the chat, either way.
I think it's less distracting on here because I'm not looking at all the chat, I guess. So I can focus more on the meditation.
I find it to be a stronger presence when you're on the Zoom. Just was curious. We do have a question from Paula, hippie at the Heart and Soul. Can we talk
Okay.
about Dark Night of the Soul? And I just happen to have the Dark Side of the Light Chasers next to me. I'll start with, I feel my truth, my opinion, most of us light workers have gone through what we thought was the dark night of the soul, facing all of our shadows, facing the parts that we wanted to deny or have hurt or in pain. And I feel like we've processed through so much of that. And it's my truth and my beliefs that right now the energy on the planet, whether it's astrology, all of it, that I believe the dark night of the shadow, whatever you want to call it, was like the wash cycle, and we thought, okay, we're done. But it's, if you watch one of my memes I posted, it's like the shadow work on trauma is like ever folding, ever open. It's like one drawer's open and then it's like two more drawers come, and then it's like this repeat of there's always new layers. And I think that right now we got through so much of the layers of the onion, but now it's like any old unconscious, especially unconscious, is like being ripped out of us. I don't want to say ripped out of us, but it's coming to the surface. It's coming apparent. And so I feel like right now, so much of that stuff is coming out, which is why I was led to do that trauma workshop, because I feel like it's very much present in our lives. And hello, Mayfair. And so go ahead, Mom. What would you say about Dark Night of the Soul?
Well, I would say it very differently. And again, I'm coming from a different perspective. I sort of have the long range. And I will start with taking and talking about therapist. When you choose to become a therapist, one of the things you have to do is you have to go into therapy. And in the program that I was most familiar with at Indiana State, you had to go into therapy to find all your issues, to know what your issues are, so that you could free them up. So when you're working with other people, you weren't contaminating or projecting or being triggered by other people's issues. The clearer you were, the better therapist you are. So that first heavy duty house cleaning was on self. Another analogy is if you go into the Army, you go through boot camp. Now, I've never done boot camp, but by all reports that I've heard, it's not fun. It's very intense, hard work. They test you at every level. There's rigorous training, there's rigorous testing, there's rigorous experiences. You put on a backpack of 50 pounds and then you have to run all day long with it. And that's so that you're prepared, that you're ready, that you can handle whatever situations may come up. For the very, very good ones, they go into special elite forces. It might be the Green Berets or the Navy SEALs or, whatever they're called, but they're an elite forces that take you to another level. And therefore you have more training. You get more crap dumped on you. You have to clear out and look at and be that much more prepared for that much more intense experiences. And so I see these dark nights of the soul sort of being that elite forces training. We've all lived. We're this is just a game. We want to experience and see what it's like. But in order to be a model for other people, we got to know what our stuff is. We got to clear out our stuff. God is going to love us and accept us as we go home, no matter what we do or how we do it. It's who we are. We are one with that divine. But for us to be the most service to others around us, we have to be the clearest. We've used the example of a drug addict has to get healthy and clear before they can really serve other people. And the healthier and the clearer they are, and the stronger they are, and the more courageous they are, and the more tools in their toolbox, the bigger the help they're going to be to other people. And so what can be a very personal experience with the dark night of the soul can also be viewed as an impersonal experience of the most rigorous advanced training. It's all how you want to look at it. And so when I hear people talk about the dark night of the soul, in my heart, I'm going, yay, because I know that's a very important advanced training phase that you have to go through. If you haven't gone through it, you have not prepared yourself for what's coming. It's we're here for some really unusual opportunities, and we've just gone through 2020, and we know what that brought, and all the COVID stuff and the V stuff, and we're still walking through lots and lots of manipulation, deception, control, and we have to be strong. We have to be ready to deal with that. So that's what's my perception on it. So if you're going through that, I pat yourself in the back, and then think about those Navy SEALs or those advanced fighter pilots, who have to practice cutting their engines so they can save a plane that's going down. Can you imagine being in this big plane and having to cut your engine so you know how to start it up again in the middle of the air? So you're learning, you're growing. Congratulations.
And she has a couple more questions, but I also want to add before I go into some of the other questions that if you put the intentions out that you want to be more empowered, you want to live a more aligned life, if you want to live more love and light, if you want to live your greatness, then I find that these periods are quite common, because if you want to live more empowered, if you want to live more love and light, then you have to let go of the lower density that's inside of you. And I find that, again, I've talked about this in the past, but I truly believe that we are deeply programmed that with trauma, whether it's family, whether it's, I mean, there's so many trauma that we are programmed into it, because it keeps you out of your power if you don't healthily process it and heal it. And not that you're broken, not that you're not, but it's facing it, it's seeing through it, it's understanding, it's moving through all those subconscious behaviors to make it conscious and to move through that. So I find that when you start making your intentions, I want to live a more empowered life, I want to live more love and light, right? That actually kind of brings it out into like, all right, well, then if you want to be empowered and you want to learn to use your voice, guess what? You're going to be put in situations where you're going to need to use this or be able to speak up. And so I find that first and foremost, your words are everything. So even reading a couple of your comments, I would also own things from the past. Whenever you have a thought and a word coming out, it is literally like, imagine if you were to check all your words, is this what I want to have for my future? I don't know why you keep doing something, but if you don't want this for your future, then don't own it as I am this, I am that, because you are telling the universe that's what you want. I am depressed. In the past, I felt depressed. There's definitely ways to word things that can be more beneficial to you, and it's all a choice. But again, as in my truth, that as we're ascending, as we're evolving energetically, it's letting go of all the fear so you can live in love. All the disappointment, all the judgment, all the lower vibrations are being asked to be faced and loved and understood, and know that these deep darkness is actually bringing you the gifts to be able to be more empowered, to be able to live more in love and light. And so just know that it, sometimes they say things have to fall apart in order to fall together. And I'm moving into trust big time, because I am being faced with all kinds of everything. So just trust. It's so much love, so much light. We are moving into an easier time. And I do feel we have like that easy button to reset, put your intentions, clear it out. But remember, you can add with ease and grace. You can add all kinds of things to it. And then now I'm going to go through some of the questions, because there's quite a few going through that question. And so I'm just going to repeat them as they are, but I'll let Mom talk about this too. I'm going through a time of hopelessness, and you're right, it's never ending. Going through dark stages now, but a week ago I was fine. I feel like I'm going crazy, very depressed, and wonder if I
All right, Stacy, I want to stop for a second, because I'm also on Instagram. I'm seeing some of the things coming up. And so I want to first say, with the comments that were there, that if you feel like you need to see a doctor, if you feel like you're in a place that's too dark, that you can handle alone, then for goodness sakes, seek help. We are not a substitute for mental health, for physical health. We give you spiritual alternatives and spiritual things to look at. But I don't want anyone to think that if you're in a really depressed place, that you can say a few affirmations and have it go away. So I want to start with that, because I'm seeing some comments there that, it would be nice to have ongoing conversations alone. So with that said, now I've got my foot propped up because I injured my foot yet again. So I've had my foot propped up. And now, Stacy, can you just summarize that, or do you want me to?
How many stages of the awakening are there?
Well, I don't buy the stages of awakening. It's all right. Well, awakening is not a destination. It's a process. It's a journey. And so just like on a thermometer, you have temperatures that can go from 1 to 100 or beyond, and you can read them as Celsius or you can read them as Fahrenheit. So the temperature is something it's there, but the way we measure it is varying. So with this awakening, if you're on this call, you're awakening. There's not stages. It's an ever, unless you can walk on water and turn water into wine and raise the dead, you're still in process. I'm still in process. With every one of my experiences and happening to me all around, I'm still growing, and I've been doing this for 30 years. I hear people say, "Oh, I am awoke." Well, you're not awoke because you're still living. When you're dead, you're done. But until you're dead, you're still in process. And so be mindful that it's an ongoing process, and it's just part of the journey. Enjoy the journey. And when you're taking and asking for things, I had a friend who asked for patience. Don't ever ask for patience, because every test for patience jumped into his life immediately until he could respond to them with patience. So we think it's going to come down like a big balloon and sprinkle us with patience. No, life gives us all these challenges and opportunities to develop patience, to choose patience. Every aspect of our life is a choice. So when you ask for an empowered life, you're going to get opportunities to choose empowerment or not. And those can sometimes be not so much fun. I'm going through a time of hopelessness. You're right, it's never ending. Yeah. But that's the upside. When you're on a roller coaster, if you've ever been on a really great ride, it's always like, oh man, it's over. Oh. Well, because we have judged this experience to be negative or unpleasant rather than exciting and titillating and unlimited opportunities, we want it to end. And it's not the way it is. We call this forth so we could test ourselves. And so think in terms of those people who swim the English Channel or experience the triathlon or do all these things. They put a rope in their teeth and pull a school bus. Why the hell would you do that? But you do it to test yourself, to see, can I do that? Can I make this happen? And that's sort of what life on earth is. Can I stay in love? Can I hit that vibratory note when the world is crumbling around me? Can I be in love when someone is reflecting less than love to me? We came to raise the collective vibration, to raise the collective consciousness on this planet. It doesn't mean that everything's going to be perfect and we all start singing hallelujah. It isn't the way it works. It's going through the trials and tribulations of life. Allow us to choose love. And as far as the stages of awakening, as far as I know, there's no stage. It's like stage of temperature. We can say it's cold. We can say it's hot. We can say it's fun. We can say it's not so much fun. But I'm not aware of stages. I have seen people who make arbitrarily comments about them. And that's their right. We all get to make up things. If I had to decide stages, I'd say there's the novice, the awakening, where they're just trying to figure things out. The aware, when they sort of got a handle on the big pictures. And the activated, where they're aware of what's going on and understand, but now they're into action. They're into doing. It's not about sitting watching YouTube clips all day to become more spiritually programmed. It's about taking action. How are you using your spiritual awareness to make a difference in the world? What ripples are you actively and consciously putting out into the universe? And so that would be my 3 stages. And you can decide where you are. Josie's one that talks a lot about meeting people who are just beginning to open up, just becoming aware. And that's the novice stage. They need reassurance they're not crazy. They need to understand that this is not their imagination, that we're much more complicated in our life on earth than what we've been led to believe. So that's the novice stage. I mean, that was a stage where I'm thinking, am I losing my mind? Am I crazy? you know, um, so then the aware stage is where you sort of get, oh, this is how it works. Oh, this is what that means. Oh, this is what's happening. And then the activated stage is taking action. How are you using your knowledge to make a difference in the world? So that for me is the three stages. Anything else is someone else's creation. I haven't been given any kind, and there's not like a prize that if you finish, you're done. Um, if you finish kindergarten, you go to first grade. You finish first grade, you go to second grade. It doesn't mean a second grader is better, smarter, more capable than a first grader. It just means they've been on the earth a bit longer. They've been in school a bit longer. There's no way that we can measure this is better than that. It just doesn't happen.
I see it.
Someone mentioned being.
We do have like layers to the process, to the things. The more we understand, the more we can see. And I see it as almost like you're on a level, like you're taking a step. And each step you can see things a little bit more clearly. And that each step you have a little bit different lessons. You can learn at a deeper level, and you can just start to understand. So I definitely see it as raising your consciousness, raising your awareness. Not that I kind of, it's like you master each level before you can see the next. And I think that there is, for me, layers to the awakening, and individually it's different. But the more you can process one understanding, then it's like, oh, I can see it so much easier now. So I would.
Well, and that's what I talk about, climbing the tree. That as you climb the tree, how you view things changes. The perception you have of what the things around you changes. The different colored glasses you wear changes. All those things affect it, but I don't see it as stages, like stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, like we would measure cancer, for instance. We have a very clear test. Okay, this is stage 3 cancer. This is stage 4 cancer. We have very clear labels, and I don't see that happening with our spiritual journey. And whoever's saying, I feel like I'm going crazy. Yep, that's it. That's what happens. You feel like you're going crazy because everything that you've ever been taught, you recognize doesn't fit. And it does help to see movies like Matrix, where you can go, oh, I get that. I can relate to that, where everything you thought was real isn't real, and everything that's changed. And so what you want to do is stop thinking, stop measuring it, stop looking at it, go into just accepting. This is where I am now. This is how it feels now, and I'm okay with that.
Well,
depression is.
What are the things we can do to be in a higher dimension? And also, one of those, the graphs that you can kind of see is like fear and love. Each dimension, again, like I feel there's different layers, different levels, but it's the consciousness in which you live in, your energetic state. And so if you live in a lot of fear, you live in a lot of judgment, you live in a lot of comparison, you live in a lot of that, it's going to be a lower vibration / frequency within a dimension. So it's about moving through to become, right, your sovereign self. And so I think even there's so many, again, I see it as layers, so many levels. And it's like when you want to play Mario Brothers, like there's so much to learn in each level, and you kind of get the secrets, like, oh, here's an extra bonus code, oh, you can do this, oh, you can do that. And it's kind of like once you really get ready and understand that level, then it's like you finally pass and go into the second level. Gratitude is a practice if you really truly believe it and feel it. As Dispenza will talk about, your thoughts put the energetic basically that shoots out, and your emotions are the magnet energetically that pulls it back in, which is why it's really important to understand your thoughts subconsciously. Where you're facing your traumas, to understanding what you're doing behind the scenes to be able to make it a more conscious practice. Okay, go ahead, Heather. What's your thoughts?
Well, again, someone talked about being depressed. Depression is anger turned inward. it goes back, if you're in that unconditional love, that's unconditional acceptance. If you accept yourself and all your flaws and all your imperfections as you perceive them, then there's no way to be angry at yourself. You know, because we're spiritual beings, we know what perfection looks like and feels like. And so by judging ourselves against that impossible standard, we fall short and we go, oh man, I could have been this and I could have been that. And so, or we fool ourselves and say, well, I'm just divinely perfect and I am just, and have these delusional thoughts of grandeur. But recognizing that when we just accept ourselves for who we are and how we are, then there can't be depression. Usually depression comes when you've done something that you're not very happy with yourself, either in this lifetime or another lifetime, and you keep punishing yourself for it and beating yourself up. Stacy talked about fear and love. I don't see fear and love on the same continuum at all. I see fear as another aspect of love, but it's the love gone awry. That fear always is a mask and a tool for manipulation. Unconditional love and judgment are the two on my scale. That when we accept something just the way it is, that's unconditional love, unconditional acceptance. Look at what you're not accepting, and you'll see that you're not accepting it because you first judged it. If you judge, then you are shutting out unconditional love. And so the scale that you look is very important, and recognize it. Very depressed and wonder if I should see a doctor. If you're asking me online whether you should see a doctor, then I'd say you're already telling yourself you need to see a doctor. If you read my book, Perfect Power and Consciousness, there was a time when things are happening inside my body that were very disturbing. I thought I was having a heart attack, literally. And I went to the doctor. I had the tests. So I'm not saying don't go to the doctor. If you think, if you feel, if you have this impulse that perhaps I should see a doctor, then see a doctor. Very, very clear. And I did, and they found nothing. So it's like, okay, so I'm good to go. The same thing with you. You're living in a physical body. You're triggering up stuff from your physical body. You're triggering up things with your emotional body. So sometimes it is emotionally based, and sometimes it's spiritually based, and sometimes it's physically based. But I certainly couldn't tell you that on this call. But if you think you maybe should see a doctor, then I'd see a doctor. It's kind of fun being able to read your comments. And I don't know who you are. Stacy seems to know who you are for real, but I see the comment about I'm becoming unhypnotized. That's a very good analogy for what's going on. We have been lulled into believing a reality that isn't real. And then as we awaken, it is like we've come out of hypnosis session. We're sort of seeing things with a new eye and going, what the shit? What's going on here? And so we're seeing that. And so I think that's a great analogy. And when you think you're crazy, recognize you're not. And the test I used for, because a lot of people thought I was crazy when I was doing this 30 years ago, is that the test for reality is, can you live successfully in this world? So if you're functioning and getting through this life successfully, you're not crazy. If you're babbling to yourself and hearing voices in your head and you can't maintain a job and you can't, maintain the responsibility of holding a household and, all of a sudden, maybe you're crazy, so look to see how well you're able to maneuver life as we know it. So, Stacy, anything you want to add?
No, I just think, again, I said even the word depression has many levels. I've experienced many I guess, forms, colors of it, whatever you want to say. And for me, this has been a very challenging period. And although I'm not suicidal, I would say I've been depressed, like, but it's a little bit different. But I find sometimes those are the places that it's like, okay, if this isn't working, what does work? It's a time to kind of refigure out like what's important. Where do I want to go? What do I want to create? And start it as a time of creation. Oh, we love you, Soulful Intimacy, my Gosha from Nova Scotia. I just want to let you know we only have about 10 minutes left on our live before I have to restart it. And Mom was talking about doing the spirit sprinkles or little messages from Source. If you do want to begin and get a little message slash icon, I like source messages for you to understand it. Mom can define it her way. I have different words. But Mom will be doing spirit sprinkles, and you will have to be on the Zoom call if you want a sprinkle. That was asked by Josie last week. Josie's got a big smile on because she loves her sprinkles. For those of you that don't know, and hello, Miss Claudia, if you would like to have a sprinkle, get on the Zoom. It's 428-733-218. That's our Zoom. And it's the same one every Thursday. And it's pretty broad. If you're going to ask about Akashic Record stuff, it's better for a private session with Heather. But do you want to explain it from your words?
Yeah, I do. First of all, a guru just means a teacher. So I don't like the title guru because a lot of people have, sort of exalted these positions, and there's just people who are further along in the path. And so you want to make sure you choose a teacher who is comfortable to you and is confident with their path. And I do private sessions. I do ongoing coaching. I think my record was 5 years with one person working through various stuff. And I, can help sort of smooth the bumpy roads. So if you're feeling like you're looking for one, I am available and we can talk. And many people on the call have done private sessions. And so they may want to talk about it. Spirit sprinkles are like little mini private sessions. Everything about you is encoded in your energy, in your consciousness. And so what I do is just tap into your energy, and I do it through both looking at your face, if you're on Zoom and you're showing me your face, or your energy through your voice. When you're talking, you are literally broadcasting that vibratory essence of you through the universe. And so when you're talking love and kindness and gentleness and compassion, and Jennifer, we want to talk about compassion before this is over. It goes into the universe. And if you're talking anger and hate and sarcasm and all the other kind of things, that's going out into the ripple. You're putting that out there as well. So you say your name, and I tap into the energy of your name and the energy of your essence. And then you ask a question, because in your energy is everything. Well, obviously, I don't have time to talk about everything for everybody, even if we had the rest of my life to do it. So by asking a question, there's Esme. We just focus down on one thing that I can look at for you. So, and the more specific your question, the more accurate your information. You tell the universe can sort of get the information ready and lined up for me. I do use a Wayshow, or sort of a guide on the other side to help with the process, because I have met a few spiritual beings who are most troublesome. And so I just don't connect with other people's spirit helpers without my guard sort of watching for that. So what we do is I will ask you if you want a spirit sprinkle, or you can raise your hand or wiggle your fingers. And then when I say it's your turn, and we're going to stay on tonight, We'll tell everybody that's on YouTube, on Zoom at this moment. If you get on at the last minute, maybe not, but who's on the call right now, or shortly when we start, then all of you will get a spirit sprinkle. And then we go on. And what I find is on these little sessions, that even though person A is asking something, it applies to everybody. So be mindful that and we're saying it public, obviously. It can be helpful. I have someone who's saying they want a private session, and my email is heather@heatherharder. I'm in Facebook, Instagram, and I'm not so good at this moment in time, but always growing. And then you can also call me, and we can set up a private time to do a private session. So with that, I think that's way too much information, but go ahead, Stacy.
Well, because we have to end in a few minutes, do you want to define compassion, give people a minute, and then I can restart the Instagram?
Well, I don't think it's defining. Go ahead and restart it now, and we'll just use this as a pause.
For those of you that are on Instagram, I am going to hang up. It takes me a few minutes to save it and to post it. It depends on Instagram how long that takes. I'd say average about 1 to 2 minutes. So if you'd like to join us back, we will be back. And I definitely agree that when you hear a message, it's very common that it is universal, because that's how Source works. So feel free to join us on Zoom. I am so honored and grateful that you join us here, and we get to have you be a part of this. So wherever you are, know that you're loved. You got this. We're in this together, and you're a creator. Create. Okay, so I'm going to hang up, and we'll see you in a minute.
Hey. Hi, Maver. And Juan Carlos, it's so nice to have you on the call. I can't wait to hear your voice directly. Dun, 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 dun.
Okay.
And Juan Carlos, yes, that's exactly my email address, heather@heatherharder.com. And you can text me there.
Oh, yay. Thank you. Trauma class was so great. That was the class I taught on Saturday. It's still taking a minute on Instagram, so just know that I'm waiting.
La, 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 la. See, this could be our potty break, or getting a glass of water, or our recess.
It seems to be a little frozen, like it's. Oh, maybe. Okay.
I just got an Instagram follower.
All right.
I'm going to start posting on Instagram.
I'm muting you. We are back to Cosmic Conversations Part 2. I am Stacey Harder with my mom, Dr. Heather Harder. If you'd like to join us live, feel free. we will be doing spirit sprinkles. Well, Heather will be doing spirit sprinkles. All right, so go ahead, Heather. You have to unmute and then speak. Thanks.
Hi, everybody, again. Are we back into the power of it?
Yeah, I'm not sure if the last one saved, but well, I'm trying to see. Go ahead.
Okay. All right, we're going to do spirit sprinkles, and then we'll come back after everybody's had their sprinkle, and we'll talk about, because Gen C this week talked about compassion, and there's some misunderstandings around compassion. We're enabling country, so we want to make sure we're compassionate and supportive, not enabling, but we'll come back to that. If not, it'll be our conversation that we start with next week. So Gen C, you're in charge of helping remember. All right, if you want to raise your hand electronically or wiggle your fingers, I'll jot down the names and then I'll know who we're doing.
Just so you know, if you are new, the one thing, we'll start with someone probably that has done it before, but Mom will just ask you to say your name. You say your name out loud so she can tap into your energy.
I see Juan Carlos. He's got a face. Oh, nice. And Nelsie, it's wonderful seeing all you guys. Okay.
Paula was the first one I saw with their hand raised. Esme's got her hand raised.
Okay.
Esme's
Hi, Paula.
Oh, okay. Who are you starting with, Mom?
Have I met you before?
Yes. 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
But I haven't showed myself on video.
Okay, well, thank you for doing that.
And you were on our Sunday call, correct? We had the lovely.
Yes.
Yeah. So we had a lovely conversation on Sunday too.
Yeah. About two Sundays ago.
All right. Just because, if it's okay with Juan Carlos, because you have your name has always been intriguing to me, and it's wonderful to finally see you. So if you'd like to unmute yourself, and we'll get to everybody, so not a problem. And then Juan, and I close my eyes just so I can focus in on the energy a bit clearer. So if I close my eyes, I'm not drifting off. If you'd like to unmute yourself and then just say your name, and it can be just your first name, and then give me a second to sort of connect with it.
Well, Mom, I'm clarifying. Are you doing Juan or Paula?
Juan.
Okay. Sorry, Paula. Give you just a second.
I'll say your name before I do you.
Okay. Juan, I can't hear you.
Say your name out loud.
He's unmuted, but I don't hear his voice. So go ahead. Oh, you have to put your headphones in or something?
I don't hear you. Okay. So you want to play so I can hear you?
Why don't you do Paula, Mom, and then we'll come back to Juan.
Okay, Paula.
Hi.
And Paula,
Where are you? Okay. It's like the shifting. You guys all change places, so I've got to look around to find where you are now, because you were down in the corner. Now you're in a new place. So it keeps shifting. So Paula, if you will just say your name, then gives me a chance, then pause and let me get into the energy, and then you can ask your question. So first of all, welcome. It's nice seeing you.
Hi. Do I say my full name? No?
No, just your first name's fine.
Okay. Hi, I'm Paula. And I guess my question is,
Let me play with you. Hold, don't talk your question yet. I want to get to the energy. So I need. It's very hard to explain, but it's like there's a zillion energies out there, and I've got to find your energy thread, and then that allows me to go into your consciousness and be able to access the information I need. But I have to get to the energy first. So if you do your questions right away, I don't get into the energy. So let me just play. Okay, so now ask your question.
My question is, what path should I be following career-wise?
Do you have a clock or ticky thing going on in your world?
Sorry about that. Yes.
Okay, it's all right. Um, okay. The questions often go around in unusual ways. So let me just start by saying what I'm getting, and then take it to wherever it needs to be. You're a person who spent many lifetimes in religious orders. You know, we hear about bliss and being in joy and love and stuff, but in the religious order, it's about servitude, it's about solemnness, it's about seriousness. And so you don't have any clue on really how to be joyful, because you're very service oriented. And if you can, any of those movies that show mothers and novices and stuff in these nunneries, that sort of mindset you bring to life. It's like, let's don't mess around, let's get it done, let's be on target, let's be on task. And I'm getting chills from head to toe. And so for all of you who are listening, when you're getting chills, it says this is something important for your lesson. You need to listen to it, pay attention to it. I'm talking to her, but I'm getting chills for this is very important. She's may or may not be getting chills for it's important to her. But if you're getting chills, even though I'm talking to her, it's also important to you. You sort of trained yourself not to have fun, because fun is foolishness. Fun is not being on task. Fun is all the things. And I'm again chills. Just I wish you could experience the chills I'm getting. You haven't allowed yourself to enjoy your life experience, because you've got this very well intended life of servitude, and it's from choice. You need to what I would do is get a light bulb, because they're easy to break, but get a light bulb and write service, humility, poverty, all those oaths that you had to take as a nun, write it all over this light bulb, and then smash it to a billion pieces, and just say, that was then, this is now. Now I want love and laughter and joy and happiness. You have to teach yourself how to have those things, because you've never allowed yourself, because you thought they were frivolous and God wouldn't be happy with them. Sing at the table and sup with the devil is one of the old affirmations and stuff. But all that crap you really bought hook, line, and sinker. So now you have to, in that spirit of love and joy, release it and let yourself have fun. What's going to be the job, because we're talking about profession, that lets you really have fun, to really experience joy, because you haven't done that. And now it's time, if you're really here to serve the universe and serve the divine, you have to have fun. You have to be playful. You have to, and play. Oh my God, you got nothing in the world about play. You've got to teach yourself how to play. If you're gonna get there, you've got to get there through a playful spirit. I don't know what your preparation is, but get around kids and watch them play. They take nothing and they explore it. They're really fully engaged in the trash or in the toilet. I mean, it's not about the thing they're playing with. It's the level of engagement they have with that. That you choose what you're doing. It's active engagement, and you find it fun. For some people, that's golf. For some people, it's checkers. For some people, it's playing in a mud puddle. Or slapping around mud as they create something. You got to decide what play is for you, because play will not be the same for everybody. But you've got to teach yourself how to have fun. Does that make sense?
It does. I feel like I was born into this life already sad as a child, my whole life, and I could never understand why.
Well, again, I'm just even having the thoughts, just the chills going through my body. because you were programmed that you were never good enough, that you were never right enough, you were never sacred enough, you never prayed enough, you never did enough good deeds, that you were never enough. And that was that religious order programming. And probably you don't enjoy sex either, and you don't, all the other kinds of things that those religious orders programming you. You someone talk about being in hypnosis. I mean, you were really bought the whole shit because you really are so dedicated to the divine, to the plan. But that was all a big fat lie. God wants you happy. God is happy with just the way you are. You don't have to do anything to prove yourself to God. You just have to be as authentic to yourself as possible. And so you have to say, I'm good enough. Now it's my time to have fun and play and explore and get in the mud, go through the years, be a 2-year-old and play in the mud and stomp in mud puddles, and be a 3-year-old and take things apart and slam things down, and be a 4-year-old and start scribbling all over paper. Just take yourself through the stages, looking at what's fun for that age bracket, because you deprived yourself. You were so dedicated from birth to being the best little pretend nun that there could be.
Yeah, it sounds
so. Let me tell you,
sounds easier than said.
Yeah.
It's like letting go of the person you are.
The person that you've been made to believe that you are. It really isn't you. That playful spirit has been hiding in there. That inner child has been abused, so it sits in the corner and doesn't cause any commotion. You got to awaken that joyful part of you.
It's interesting you say it, because I feel it from birth, like you said. Like I felt it since childhood, as long as I can remember. I remember crying in my bed when I was like 8 years old, like, why am I so sad? So I know it happened before then. So I guessed in past lives too. So
you were the best little nun, and
maybe that's the lesson that I have to learn. Yeah, the lesson I had to learn in this lifetime may be that may be the reason why I'm here, and I've never learned it. And what resonated with me too is my grandmother was the same, my mother was the same. Everybody, it's an ancestral thing. It goes back far.
And when you break this pattern, you're breaking it for all of them. You're setting your mother free. You're setting your grandmother free. You're setting your great grandmother free. You're setting all those people free. And so I would find some old movies that have nuns as part of the theme, the nunnery, and just sort of tap into that and watch it and see how they're programmed to be, and some you don't talk. There's a monastery in Kentucky, the Abbey of Gethsemane, where they don't talk. It's complete mute. Thomas Merton was there, and he wrote all his books there in silence. And so I went down there. You can go and stay there. But I went down and stayed a week just in silence, and it was very powerful, but I can't imagine spending my entire life in silence. And so, but that's the kind of dedication you had. But now you're dedicating yourself to the joyful release of the godness within you. And you're going to rededicate your life, and that humility is no longer your thing. And imagine breaking these oaths that you've taken, celibacy, financial poverty, all the different ways that they don't make you, you choose to go into this very austere life. So just quit it.
You have no idea. Everything you've said is true. First of all, I grew up in.
Oh, I do. I've got chills.
Yeah, I grew up in an island off the coast of France. That's where I was born, and I went to a nunnery school, and I got punished, as a little girl because I was young. And I don't forget it. I have dreams about it.
You see how you set all this up.
Yeah. And I've been having a lot of nightmares lately, and I don't know why. I guess I'm fighting a battle. And I was married to a man in the past who was gay, and I was celibate for 10 years because I found out later. And I was,
how more can you set yourself to not have sex is to marry somebody who's gay?
Well, I didn't know he was
you
gay.
have done such a wonderful job of.
Mm-hmm.
No, there was a part of you that knew there was something off.
Yeah, I was willing
so
to.
Anyway,
yeah, I was willing to sacrifice myself.
Well, think of it as, someone who's an alcoholic,
mm-hmm.
and then they go sober, and they have a much better comparison between being an alcoholic and being sober. So you're going to have that same comparison between a life of austerity and a life of joy. Mm-hmm. But you got to first teach yourself what it's like. But that's the extreme. And you set this up so you could have this transformation. You planned all this so we could meet today, and I could give you permission to have fun. That God will be thrilled when you're having fun in your body.
Okay.
So enjoy it. And then again, if you feel like talking, I do private sessions. So
that's fine. Thank you.
But you have everything you need to know to give yourself permission to do it differently. And even writing out some of the stuff and burning it, freeing yourself from these chains of beliefs and mm-hmm. attitudes and stuff that doesn't serve you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I promise you'll get to the point where sex is fun.
I like sex. I do like sex.
Oh, good.
Don't get me wrong, I do. But yeah, I've led a life of sacrifice, basically. Yeah.
Yeah. So when you're looking for a job, look at, and not self-centered, but look at a job that's going to be fulfilling, that's going to bring you joy, that's going to make you laugh. It's going to make you sing. Mm-hmm. And remember, from that experience, you could be a great stand-up comedian because you have this whole background, and you've got this very and I'm going to use the word warped, but that isn't exactly it. But you've got this really twisted way of looking at the world because of these experiences, and you could help a lot of people break free. You have the power to be a great influencer in that area. Sort of like Russell Brand looks at the world and he sees things, and whereas once he was a comedian and he did all kinds of funnies about it, now he's becoming a philosopher and really talking about what's going on in a very profound way. So recognize that your experiences aren't wasted. They were not mistakes. They were not dumb. They were just very extreme, and now you get to choose something else. So with that, Paula, I love you. I'm going to go on to someone else.
Thank you.
Ooh, we got someone else joined us. Okay, and again, we're here every Thursday so we can carry on the conversation. Because the Spirit Sprinkles tend to take time, tonight we're just basically doing the Spirit Sprinkles, but in other weeks we have more conversation. Josie, would it be okay if I come to you next?
What?
Unmute yourself, and we're going to talk.
All righty.
Okay. Now your challenge is always to have a question. So we're going to, even though I know you very well, we're going to have you say your name, because your energy will shift and change. So, and because Josie's been on the calls for a long time, and I've known her for a long time, I will hear the changes in her energy as well. So I may forget your name, I may even forget your face, but your energy is with me forever. Okay, so go ahead, Josie.
My name is Josie, and the
wait,
one
wait, let me get there.
Okay.
Wait there. Pause till I tell you. Okay, now your question.
Okay. The one question is basically just what are you getting from me? Like
that's a cop out.
I know. Okay.
All right. All right. So I'm going to share what I share.
Yes.
we don't have a language for energy, so I have to keep making up these analogies and stuff. But you've seen fireworks that come up and they explode and they send out lots of runners and they all drift down to the earth. You know what those fireworks look like, correct?
Yes.
Well, you think that's a catapulting of energy, and then the energy separates and then goes out. That's what you do with your words. You have great intention, you bring the energy up, and then you talk and share, and you scatter the momentum of the energy. You're still working on that gift of being able to say less and share more, because in the scattering of your energy, you lose the focus of it. That when you can just be a minimalist, you keep that energy intact and people get more from it. So, and as you're preparing and you're meeting a lot more people who need you, you need to start focusing more on what you want to say it, and then shut up.
I got it.
Because what you do is you keep saying it this way and say it this way and say it this way, and pretty soon they've lost that energy of the experience. That your words are secondary to the energy that you share. And so just remember, keep that energy in that momentum.
I understand. Yes, I understand. Thank you.
Speak less, say more.
Yes.
All right. Stacy, do you have someone you want me to do next? Or I'll just call on someone.
And I want to just personally welcome Vic. I haven't seen you in a minute, so it's lovely to see your face. I don't know if you know how to raise your hand, but I know you mentioned on Instagram you wanted to get on. So if you want to go.
Well, I just I don't want to cut in line. I've just been super tired, and I actually just like felt like I had something was, you know me, Stacy, something was like telling me that I needed to join the Zoom today. Against what
then what I'm going to do is just, I'm happy that you're here, and we're going to do a sprinkle as we get to it. And so what I'm going to do is just on my screen, just go across my screen. So we'll just go boom, boom, boom.
I would just love to not cut in line and just come right in. I think things I've already heard are meant for me anyway. So.
Well, and that's it. And if you don't want to sprinkle, there's a lot of people who don't want sprinkles. It's okay. You will not offend me at all. So if you don't want to have one,
I would totally take a magic sprinkle. If we have,
okay.
Yeah, totally.
One of the things that I'm going to start doing is more YouTube clips and more Instagram, because everything's been going to Stacy's. I got nothing on mine. And so what I'm going to do is do just sprinkles on YouTube and on Instagram. So if you want to volunteer for a sprinkle for that, you're welcome as well. So it's just the one time I'm talking about a situation. Okay, Esme, you are next. So unmute yourself and then just say your name. Your first name is fine. You don't need to do your last name if you don't want. Actually, your name is very powerful because it carries the energy of who you are. Not the Native Americans, the Egyptians believe that if someone had your name, that they had the power over your life. And so Isis became famous as the person who knows all the names. And that's why people would name somebody John Robert Charles, but they would call him Chuck. So they didn't get called the name of their real name. So no one never knew their real name. So your name is very powerful. And so Esmeralda, if you will just say your name and let me tap into your energy.
Hi, my name's Esmeralda de la Torre.
Okay, you say that much prettier than I do. And so let me just play for a second. Okay, go ahead and ask your question now.
My question is, a few nights ago, I had a dream that my grandmother was in it, or she was in my dream, and I kind of felt she had a message. Do you know what that is? Or I'm pretty sure she had one, but I didn't understand it.
Well, first of all, the main reason of her showing up is to let you know that she's okay and she's still there. You know, we think if when they're dead, oh my God, they're gone. They're not gone. They're just in another form, another suit. And they come back in our dreams because that's the least traumatic. If she showed up in your living room, you'd have, go, ah! But by coming in your dreams, it's the easiest to accept. And yeah. And so recognize that her's coming to you is just sort of preparing you for what's to come. You're very, very spiritual. You have, and I'm getting chills with this, you have lots of talent that you have not tapped into. Your grandmother, and I'm getting just constant chills. That's how I know that I'm on the right track. Your grandmother is wanting you to activate those. And so she'll be coming and sharing with you lessons, activations. You may or may not know that she's coming. You may or may not remember them, but she's going to be helping you awaken to some of the talents that you have. You come from a very spiritual line. Your genetics is very spiritual. Do you know that?
I sense it, but I don't know how to prove it.
Well, there's no proving. My mother was extremely psychic, but she hated it. So she stuffed it and she wouldn't acknowledge it and she condemned it and she tried to get me to shut up. But it was because she was afraid of her own gifts. And so your family, your genetics has a lot of that history in it. And as you begin to open up and develop yourself, you're going to hear about other family members and their talents. I would strongly suggest you keep a journal of your awarenesses and your awakenings, and when you're working on your spiritual things, or when you're doing your meditation or reflection. And I'm not one that says you have to do this 45 minutes a day or I'm gonna rot in hell, but just ask your grandma to come in and help you and assist you, because she's very vested in your success. It's like you're going to finish the trip that she started. She never got a chance to get to the end. She wants to make damn well sure that you do. Does that make sense?
Yes, I do have a journal. I write in it every time we do your lives, and I take notes. But I will
Good.
I will keep it with me at all times. Thank you.
Yeah. And just talk to your grandma, and whatever you're feeling, write out, because your grandma will help guide you. Not that your grandma is your best and biggest teacher in the spirit realm, but she is the one that's most vested in your success. So she'll be your cheerleader. She'll be the one that, and ask her, put her to work. She was a real workaholic anyway. Ask her to find the best teacher to learn this or to do this. She'll help guide your spiritual journey, because she really wants you to be successful. But trust your gut. You have a lot more innate knowledge than what you give yourself credit for. And for all of us, I mean, it's not just me, or all of us have gone through this in many, many lifetimes, and we have it as a cellular knowledge, but we have to awaken it. We have to remember it. We have to reassemble. That's what remembering is, putting it together again to be able to activate it in this lifetime through our actions. The actions are what really determine our success or not success. But your grandma's very powerful.
She was a workaholic.
Okay.
She had 13 kids, so she was always busy working.
She was also a glutton for punishment. Yeah, she's a very powerful woman. She's I see her as this sort of little stout woman with this big rounded hair and sort of a no nonsense, let's get this thing done. But she's wanting to push you on your path. So Just
Yeah,
trust.
she was very much no BS every day.
Yeah, well, she's going to be that way with your spiritual journey too. But remember, it's your lifetime. You don't have to do what she says. But I would get a picture of her and put it on. I have Thomas Jefferson had a whole entry into his house where he had busts and pictures of what he called his worthies. There were people that he valued and he respected and he emulated. And so I have my worthies. I have my little gallery of pictures of people who I respect. And so make sure that a picture of your grandma is on a mantle or shelf or wherever you keep your worthies. But I think it's a great image. So good luck.
Thank you.
I love the comment too that Mafioso was like, she's our minutes keeper, because you do a very good job of reminding us what we were talking about and coming back to. So that was cute.
Well, I don't say that again. I missed the meaning of that.
That Esme is our minutes keeper, meaning she takes the minutes, like takes all the notes of our conversation. So when we go back, you know exactly what we talked about when we don't even.
Recording now on paper.
Yeah, I love it.
Well, feel free to take pictures of it and send it to me, because those are some of the things we talk about in a minute. I want to take and make longer editions on Facebook, because I would like to create a repository of a lot of meaningful things that people can go back and visit and remind themselves of. They say the best teachers don't teach us something new. They only remind us of what we already knew. So I sort of see that as my job. Okay, Jennifer C., are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, so Jennifer C., say your name.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Bianca, and I don't know.
Don't question yet. Just let me get your name. I'm going to focus in on your energy, then I'll tell you to start. Okay, now ask your question.
Okay. Well, I feel like the spirits want to tell me something already, and so if you know what they want to tell me, that would be great.
Boy, as you say that, my stomach just starts burning. It's which tells me that you're ruminating. In the cow talk, they talk about cows chewing on their cud, and cows have two stomachs, so they eat and then they sort of throw it up and chew it again, and it goes in the second stomach, and so that's chewing on your cud. It's you ruminate on and you go over something over and over and over again. You tend to do that. You really ruminate and chew on things. You don't, you may get an inspiration, awareness, a knowledge of taking action, but instead of acting on it, taking action, you second guess yourself. You think it over again. You investigate. You dig deeper. You go on and keep chewing your cud. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yes.
All right. And so what from me, the spirits are telling you is get over it. Trust yourself. You have the knowledge, you have the connection, you get the awareness, but you don't trust it. You just have to allow it to take place and trust yourself in that process. You're probably that kid in third grade who checked their math problems 14 times, whereas someone else did the math problems and said, I'm done. You went through and checked it again and checked it again and checked it again, because you want it to be perfect. That whole idea of being perfect is a lie. We are always perfect. Our imperfections are our perfections. Our imperfections are what makes us enjoy this human experience. And so just allow yourself to be, which includes being wrong, making mistakes, And you have sort of jumped off the deep end into a new world, doing new things, trying new things, being with new people, and so just enjoy the messiness of it and trust yourself. Yes, you're connected. Yes, they're talking to you. They're not trying to talk to you. They are. You get it, but you don't trust it. So just cut it out.
Yes. Thank you.
Reactions, thoughts?
Yeah, no, you're exactly on. It's true. I just need to stop regurgitating and do it.
Just trust it. Yeah, you don't have two stomachs. You don't need to churn things 47 times. You get it. You know it. Act on it. Trust it.
Yeah.
And the worst going to happen, going to make a mistake. Oh, well, that's an experience too. We're just here for experiences. And so a mistake can be just as powerful a lesson and an experience as, doing it right the first time.
Mm.
The Tiger Woods has hit more bad balls than anyone else in golf. That's how he got to be as good as he is. Anything that you do well, you will have made lots of mistakes in it. It's the nature of our existence. So just trust your mistakes, help you become an expert in whatever you're doing. And you're doing so many new things that you need to stop worrying about doing it perfect. Just do it.
Do it and believe in myself. That's what I feel.
Yeah. Is it Nike that said, just do it?
Yes.
So,
Okay.
so
Thank you.
get a picture of a sign, just do it.
Mm.
Okay.
You want to
Thank you, dear. I love you. What?
You want to do Juan Carlos and see if the sound is working?
Well, I've got a system going now. I'm going in order, so.
Well, let's
Yeah.
make sure it works. Because if it doesn't, then I'll have time to re-sign out.
Okay, where's Juan? Oh, there he is. Okay.
Well, my name is
right.
Juan Carlos, and
Okay, hold a second. Let me.
Yes.
Oh, I got to get rid of Jennifer first, and then I get focused on you, and then okay, you have to give me a time to shift because I'm playing in lots of different energies. So, okay, go ahead, Juan.
Your name.
my name is Juan Carlos, and right now I'm feeling like I'm sitting
Okay,
on a
just
golden-
just stop, just the name first. Let me get into your name, your
Okay.
energy. You guys think I'm faster than I am. I have to have my cleaning, adjusting time. So, and first of all, the way you say your name is beautiful. I wish I could do it as well.
Oh, thank you.
Okay. So now ask your question.
Okay, so I have been getting this message that I'm sitting on a golden egg, but like I do a lot of things and I haven't moved in a while. So I'm not sure how to put the first step on whatever direction.
Well, let's just deal with the golden egg first. That you're sitting on a golden egg. And so for me, that would tell me that you're being prepared for something big to explode in your life. And a golden egg, I mean, you think about when that egg begins to hatch, that something big is going to come out of it because it's a golden egg. Gold is an amplifier. Silver is a stabilizer. But gold is an amplifier. It's going to make whatever it is even bigger. Eggs are the seed of creation. They're the embryonic state of something yet to come. And using chickens, for example, when the chick is just inside that egg, that shell, it is its most vulnerable. It is, if you open the egg and eat it, the chick is gone forever. So the chick is most vulnerable. As it formulates and becomes a chick inside the egg, it gets to a point where it's being squeezed and it has to come out of the shell or it will die. But if a farmer tries to pick the shell away and help the chick emerge, it will die. It has to use all of its strength to break that shell from the inside in order to emerge. And as it comes out, then it comes out as a new creation from this embryonic state of potential. And so for me, that's where you are. You're in this incredible, powerful, embryonic state of potential. That as you're incubating this egg, you're also formulating what's going to be. You're creating. It's something you have pre-agreed to yourself to do. It's not new. There's a part of you that knows what it is. There's a part of you that can even feel it coming. But it's so important for your direction of your life that you had to give yourself these flags so that you pay attention. And so what I would do is get a picture, get some gold paper, cut out an egg, and literally have a symbol of that egg. And then whether you call it meditation or reflection, but as you sit down, just think about the potentiality that rests inside that egg and commune with it. You know, what can I do to help you come most gloriously into this world? How do I help give you life? Tell me my role in helping you emerge. But literally, as if this is your child to be, begin to communicate and ask Spirit to help you. It's big, it's powerful, it's going to make a huge difference. You have been being prepared. I don't know what you do in your life, but you've been prepared in order to be a way shower, in order to help other people. And this embryonic condition, even if you can find a real golden egg, just some symbol that's going to help you remember and stay focused about the potential that's yet to come, will help you attain that goal. What do you do in your life, Juan?
Well, my most recent job was teaching in university. So before that, I have been making art in different mediums. But
Have you written a book yet? Have you written a book yet?
Not yet.
I'd highly recommend that you begin to write your book. Think about the 10 most important lessons you want to share with the world based on where you are now. You write books at different levels of your progression so that you can help other people as they get to those benchmarks in their life. But I would think about doing that. That will help put you in an expert role. Writing a book is very powerful for giving you the authority to talk. But having the university background will help also give you that authority to talk. But you're going to be a very powerful spiritual way shower. I'm going to say one day, I knew him when, but you're in your preparation phase now. You're in your egg state. And no one can take and help you break through the shell. You've got to do that yourself, but in divine, perfect time. Not too soon, not too late, but know that you're being prepared.
Thank you. Yeah, and like I've been feeling very like yes, like I want to. I need to get out, but then I find myself like thinking, oh no, maybe I'm rushing too much.
Well, again, it's not an either or. For 30 years, I was a university professor and I wrote my spiritual books and did my spiritual work. It isn't about either or. My university gave me a lot of credibility for the spirituality because I was talking about stuff that sounded pretty crazy. And so this made me sound less crazy. Well, she's talking about aliens, but she's working at a university. She's a professor. So it gives you credibility. So you go further on the limb with the more credibility that you have. But I would suggest that you start looking at other way showers. And David Icke is a good one, who's had an extreme message for 30 years and is just now beginning to make sense. And people are going, oh, he knows what he's talking about. But for so long, he was considered a nutcase. And he's written lots and lots of books, but just there are models out there that you can look at. Your path will be different. Don't try to follow anybody, But by looking at these other paths, it'll give you courage to take that step of action. And that's really what's important. Being an awoke light worker is not important. It's taking it into the trenches and using that experience is very important. And you've got a big journey ahead of you. And again, if you want to talk, I'm here every Thursday. And on Sunday, I'm here. And so feel free to reach out. Okay.
Thank you very much.
On Zoom too. So, and it's
Yeah.
too, a lot of people on Zoom are like, oh, I get to see some of the faces. I'm sorry, on Instagram, because you don't.
Yes, tell them to all get their little assies on the Zoom and we can see all their faces.
Mafioso said, ha ha ha, that won't happen.
I'm going to see you someday. And I travel, so I can come to your countries and talk.
Yeah, we're
okay. I'd love to. I'd love to. Okay. Stacy, do you have someone picked out, or should I go with the next one?
I would say let's do Vic.
Okay. And I'm getting kind of confused in who I've done already. So if
I lowered the hands. I know not everybody knows how to raise their hands, so just message me privately and I'll know. And for those that don't know, Heather is my mom, which I'm pretty sure you all know, but just in case, this is my mama. Okay.
Mama. Okay.
Well, Mama had the partner. My name is actually, my name is Vicki Erin Shebley, and I'm out here in Maine. And I'm like, I'm feeling a connection to you.
Oh, you're out. Now, do you know Jennifer? Jennifer's out in Cape Cod. That's Maine too, isn't it?
Massachusetts, and I actually lived in Belmont for like 7 years. 6 years ago now.
Vic was in my Empowered Feminine Diving into Divinity class.
Okay. All right. So, so Vic, let me clear out the energy.
Oh, Vicki,
so I can get clear for you. All right. So you're going to say your name in a minute. Not yet.
Yeah.
I get to get rid of you. Like get into the energy. It's like jumping into a pool. Now I'm covered in their energy. So I got to get out of the pool and dry myself off and get ready for the next pool. So I just need a little space in between. So go ahead. Do you prefer Vic or Vicki?
Vicki. Vicki's great.
Okay. So go ahead and say your name.
So Vicki Shebley.
Okay. So what's your question?
I suppose I just want to know, there's so many, but that I'm in the right place at the right time, and mostly that I'm with the right people around me.
Okay, I've said this a few times. I'm going to say it again. Life is about experiencing. Just the more experiences you have, the happier your soul is. And it's even experiencing the same events, but when you're at a different place, you have a different experience with them. So when you're at this level and you're giving a talk, you're going to go, oh, I'm so afraid. What are they thinking of me? When you're at this level and you give a talk, you're like, yes, I get to speak to all these people. So you can have the same experience, but have two different experiences based on where you are at the time. And so with that said, there is no wrong place. There are no wrong events. There are no wrong people in your life. They're all just experiences, giving you new opportunities for experiencing. The question you ask yourself is, do you enjoy it? Does it serve you? If you're living with some populations, you find yourself being less than you are because you don't want to seem like you're showing out, or they make fun of you, or there's different reasons that you become less than you are. If you're with a group that makes you feel less than, then it's the wrong group. You need to look for another one. If you're in a job or in a situation that makes you feel less than, then it doesn't serve you. Then you can make new decisions. And so that's the only caveat for the right place, the right person, the right event. Is there something that specifically that you're wondering about or questioning about?
Yeah, I mean, I question my ex well, we haven't officially been divorced yet, but I get a lot of anger from my ex, and I get a lot of threats from him, and sometimes I worry that maybe I don't take them seriously enough.
All right, hold a second. Okay, hold. You get when I say hold a second, it means you got to hold on a second. In order to talk about your ex, I have to feel his energy. So with just his first name, you're thinking about him already. So you're already muddling your energy by bringing his energy in. Now I want to separate his energy so I know what his energy is versus what your energy is. So I'd like you to say his first name and let me get clear bead on him.
His name is John.
Okay. John is very controlling. He is hurt that you don't see him as this incredibly brilliant person that he sees himself as being. Does that make sense?
He feels like I don't see, I mean, I do see it.
Well,
intimidating.
He has a much higher, yeah. And his anger always masks hurt and sadness. He's hurt and sad that you're not following what he wants followed, not doing what he wants done. The fact that you're getting a divorce says that you want freedom, you want sovereignty from him. Mm-hmm. That's what's hurting him. I don't know what your parameters are as far as like where you live. I would not spend any extra time around him. He has a volatile temper because of the extreme hurt. He's had a pretty tough childhood. And so his way of defending his life was to get angry and scare people. Yeah. Into the violence. And so he could become very triggered and dangerous if you spend time with him. You're never going to fix him. You're never going to heal him. Keep a lot of space, except when you absolutely, do you have children together?
Yeah. You knew exactly what my next words were going to be.
Do you have children?
We have 2 boys together. And I often question whether I'm doing the right thing, even allowing them to be around him because of the level of his hurt and his anger.
I certainly would do a lot of instruction. Unless the court orders it, you have to have him, you see them. If you find that he's counterproductive to the well-being of your children, document the hell out of it, and then go through the courts. Make sure it's very legal, and that you have courts. But you can be teaching your sons because they're going to imprint his behavior. And he doesn't like girls a lot. I mean, he's got some real basic women issues. So what you want is to try and neutralize his impact. You can do it through watching movies, getting a movie and saying, see how that guy just got angry and broke the guy's nose? Is that how you should solve a problem? Is that the way we do it? And so you can be teaching without naming your ex-husband, but they have to be able to see them.
Yeah. Oh, I was going to say I've done that a little bit because I do have a new partner in life. And with my 6, almost 7-year-old, because he's so aware of the separation between his dad and I, in talking to him at one point, even a little bit ago, I was saying, Vinny, he doesn't yell at me. Like my son is very aware of the way that I am now being treated and how that is very different from the way that I used to be treated.
All right. Your divorce isn't final yet. And so I would caution you to have your kids have very, very little contact with your new boyfriend. Because they're still trying to make sense of the divorce. And children, and again, I was a professor of early childhood education. I owned 4 child care centers. I know kids. They own that situation. They feel responsible for the divorce. And you don't know what your ex-husband's saying. So I would keep the new relationship out of their life as much as possible.
Well, it's
And then
been
don't do a
year.
comparison between your new and your old,
Yeah, you're right.
because what's going to happen,
We've already spent a lot of time together, and it's already kind of been a thing. My ex and I have been separated for a year. Actually, at the start of this month was when I officially moved out of the house. And our children, we started hanging out because of our children all getting together, and that's where it kind of progressed from there. And
are you living together?
no, and zero plans to. I am very happy in my space.
All right. I'm talking about for the best interest of your children.
Yeah.
Minimize the contact they have with your boyfriend. 1, for sure, until the divorce is final. 2, those kids are hurting a lot more than you recognize. And if you're involved in another relationship, when you're together as a family, your focus is going to be more on your new boyfriend than your children. You need to, at this point, be 100% present for your son.
Yes, totally.
And so that, and let.
This has been going in my mind the last couple of days, is that I need to focus on my boys. Like you're just saying exactly what my higher self was trying to tell me,
because
was
and
that
because
I need to focus like 1,000%.
And so that's why they had to kick your ass to be on this call. Yes. Because your husband can't show normal emotion. So your sons have learned how to suppress their normal emotion. They need a strong female to show them and verbalize and talk through those things. So they learn to do it. They can't and won't do it with another family who's equally important, and with a boyfriend who's, oh, he's so wonderful. He's so much better than the old one.
No, I'm not.
Yes, they know he exists. Yes, you can go on dates.
I know. I see. That's the thing, is like.
So anyway, that's my best advice.
I appreciate that very, very much.
And just so you know, Mom has a background in PhD in early childhood and had many daycare centers, and so part of her specialty is also.
I told her that. Mm-hmm. And I can tell you that you know, it takes traditionally 2 years for people to heal from a death. This is a death for them. It was a death of a dream. It was a death of a relationship. They need to have that time to mourn and talk about and get through before you jump into another, oh, let's all be one big happy family. It isn't working for them. They may on the outside act like it's okay, but on the inside, they're not in a good place. And they're at a very vulnerable age, where that's a prime age for young boys to be sexually abused. And a child who's emotionally hurting is a prime target for that. So you need to protect them at 2 or 3 different levels and emotionally be there. And again, I do private sessions if you like, and then every week I'm here, and you're welcome to email me in between. I get tired of finger pumping, but anyway, and being a parent is a hard job. I mean, I will tell everybody, when you've agreed to be a parent, you've taken on the most difficult job in the universe. So that woman who had 13 kids, God bless her, you know, so good luck. But your sons are your primary focus at this moment in time. And you'll know when they've made it through that process. You'll know.
Yeah, I agree.
When they've made it through the process, because they will no longer need you. They'll pull away from you. They'll say, oh, I'm gonna go out with my friends. And but you got another year or so before that's going to happen.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Thank you.
Love and light.
Love and light.
And, I'm going to go ahead. We have less than a minute remaining on Instagram. So I'm just going to reset and resave.
Okay.
Feel free to rejoin us.
This is our, we're getting any comments on Instagram? I like the name Soulful Intimacy.
That's Scotia from Nova Scotia.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
playing in your energies are very important. I can talk about anyone, although from a not your business standpoint, I don't, and it's spiritually not allowed. But I can talk, like in this case, when she was talking about her ex-husband, because she's talking about the relationship and her situation, how she handled it. I have spiritual permission then to tap into his energy, even though he isn't here and being a part of it. I would not be able to go into his energy and do a sort of private session for her and for him, unless I felt she was in danger. So, or spirit guided me. Spirit can override anything which I listen to. How many more people do we have? Mayfer, Nelsie.
It's in that freezing moments.
It's
gonna
what?
be before Instagram will let me.
We're all in our places with bright shining faces.
Oh, Esme said she read a few. Oh yeah, Esme posted she's reading your book, Dimensions and Awakening the Divine Consciousness, and I reposted it today. So, all right, we are back to hopefully, hang on. We're back a little.
And feel free to go.
Okay, we are back. Part 3 on Cosmic Conversations. I am Stacy with my mom, Heather Harder. We are in the middle of Spirit Sprinkles, and in this, she's doing little messages for each person. They do tend to have a very universal draw from it, but welcome. So we are in Cosmic Conversations Part 3. And we are doing little spirit sprinkles. So Heather, you said you had.
All right, I first want to go ahead and talk about Esme, who said that she's reading one of my books. If you like it, go to Amazon and write a review. That's the best thing you can do to help my books gain traction. So I really, really appreciate those people who will write a review on the books. Okay, now what?
Who would?
Yeah, who's next?
I'm going to say Nelsie, and then Mayfair, you'll be
okay. Okay. And one of the things I want to say too, as I tell you these things, I'm giving you options and information from my perception and my spiritual guidance. It's in the end thing, it's your game, it's your life. You live with the consequences, you get to make the choices. So whatever I tell you, whatever I suggest, whatever I say, it's still a matter of free will what you want to do. So with that, Nelsie, we're doing. So we're going to, I know it's a wonderful seeing your face. So we're going to just clear the energy first of all. And then if you will just say your first name.
Nelsie.
Okay. Go ahead and ask your question now.
It's hard for me to come up with a question, so I've been trying to think this whole time. So thank you for calling me towards the end. But I guess it's just more of a confirmation. I'm going to go with something that I don't really discuss with anyone, but so I'm generally very perceptive of everything, you know, energies, vibrations, sometimes people's thoughts, things like that. But I've been also having experiences in the, I guess at night, seems like communication type experiences. I'm getting messages, codes. And I guess I just want confirmation. To me, it seems like more extraterrestrial type. And they can vary, but that's my question.
Well, first of all, I would highly suggest that you again get a journal if you're not already. And you write down everything that you're getting and saying. And then after you write down whatever you're getting, then ask that part of you that knows the questions. Why am I getting this? What does this mean? And then as soon as you get the question written out, you write the question, why am I getting this? Then whatever comes through, write it down immediately. I talk about this technique in interdimensional communication, but it's a very easy, basic thing. and then have their next question. And I call it chaining. So as soon as you get one question done and then you write the answer, you go to the next question based on whatever they're giving you. So it's like, why am I getting this? What does it mean? What am I to do with this? How do I use this information? It can be the same question with different words, but each time that you're doing that, you're priming the pump for longer and better and clear communication. You have a clarity in your energy that's unusual. It's a very clear energy. And so you've always been connected. You cannot be alive on this planet and not be connected. But what happens is people don't know how to work the controls. They don't know how to get the information when they need it, as they need it, and be able to sort of open that line of communication. As E.T. would say, E.T. phone home. Well, it took him a long time to figure out how to call phone home. That's really what you guys are learning to do, is just be able to phone home. What I'm doing now is just plugged in. So I'm always plugged in. I'm never not plugged in. You're just learning how to work the controls so that you can plug in at will. Eventually, you'll be plugged in all the time. And sort of it's you know how thumbnails on YouTubes, on little YouTube clips are designed to pull you in, to get you to click and open up and watch this little 3-minute thing on what's the weirdest thing found on the beach, or the 3,000 pound something found on the mountain. They're all little clickbaits. The titles, the images are designed to pull you in. That's what they're doing to you. They're giving you nuggets to get you to want to further the relationship.
Yeah, and it's well like sorry. I was gonna say, it's like a faucet where it's just, I've been able to just kind of suppress it for a long time, but it's just coming in full force. And I have been told, you're here to decode or give messages to humanity, and I'll get patterns and codes that I clearly understand. And then when I wake up, I don't understand it, but something about being
read it in my books?
I haven't. I've read I read Power and Consciousness, and I've read, what was the first one?
Many Were Called.
Many Were Called.
Many Were Called.
All right, I read it in that.
In Many Were Called. All right, in Many Were Called, I talk about the different dimensions. And if you remember, 6th dimension is all symbols and codes.
Yes.
It is beyond
Oh, you're
language.
giving me chills.
I'm getting the chills. And that's what you're getting. You're getting 6th-dimensional messages that don't convert to language.
They don't.
I'm getting chills. I'm getting chills too. But they alter your vibration. They alter you. It's like some people who'll sing these songs and you'll just get chills and all. And you feel like you've been altered, but just hearing these notes, that's 6th-dimensional language. You cannot put it into words. Quit trying. What you just recognize is you're pulling in a super high ripple, and your job is to put it back out. Now, I don't know what your strength is. It may be through verbalizing it. It may be through making pictures out of them. It may be, I had one person who made all these artwork with their Minster blood. That was kind of gross to me, but nonetheless, I don't know what your way of getting it out is, but that's really what you're doing. You're bringing it in, and then you're putting it out.
I've been projecting love. I don't know. I have a kind of like just being and projecting the essence of love out. I don't know.
Well, and as you get these symbols, they're raising your vibration. So as you're projecting this love, it's actually going out in a higher vibrational form. If you remember Daryl Hannah in back a long time ago in the movie Splash, when she was a mermaid, and when she first talked, and she didn't use words, it was like kind of squeaky sounds, but it was shattering. And that's really what's happening. You will have your own way of getting that and interpreting that to the world. But for right now, just capture it as much as possible, because even reflecting back on those journal entries from what you got will cause you to revisit that energy and increase it.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for confirming that I'm really not losing it and I'm not crazy.
Well, remember, there's got to be a phase in there someplace where you're going, am I crazy? Am I crazy? So I will say for sure, you're not crazy. But and that's part of our job, is just to confirm and to remind people it is so much weirder than we have been programmed to believe.
Absolutely.
You know, my neat little Southern Baptist church meant well, but it gave me a very limited view of what religion and life was like. Now I'm expanding that, as all of you are in your own way and in your own countries. I mean, look how many countries we have. It's amazing, let alone
Yes.
states. So you got to, but you've got to have the courage to take action. Remember, it goes back to action. You're only, you can be aware, but if you're not doing anything, then you might as well pack it in. So
Thank you.
okay. Anybody else? Oh, and Mayfer. Now we're going to stay with Mayfer. Is Mayfer our last one besides you, Stacy? Okay. Okay. All right. So Mayfer, let me clear the energy. Okay, say your name.
Hi,
Hi.
my name is Mia. I like to know, how can I improve my...
No question, not questions yet. We're just feeling the energy. And we've got a lot of feedback with you and your thing, so I need to hear your name again. Just say your name and then pause until we get ready for the question. So do your name again.
Maria Fernanda.
It's so beautiful. Okay. Now ask your question.
Okay. How can I improve my health?
Okay. Mayfer, I get that you're a warrior, that you're always concerned about, is it going to turn out, or what if something goes wrong, and you do a lot of worrying. Worrying is like truth or trust gone awry, because you're trusting in a negative outcome than a positive outcome. Does that ring true for you?
Yes.
Okay. What happens when you're worrying? You're putting these possible negative outcomes into the universe. You're literally polluting not just your world, but your body, because every thought is an energetic M&M, and you just keep eating all this crap M&Ms, and so it's affecting your body. In order to stop, and that's going to be the biggest drag on your well-being, on your health. So in order to change that, I would suggest that you find an affirmation that feels right for you. And whenever you feel your mind going into a worry, to go into this affirmation immediately. I am happy, I am healthy. Mine is every day I grow younger and younger, so I can look. But you know, again, spend some time with it. And if you want, you're welcome to email me and I can respond to it. But I'm happy, I'm healthy, my life is perfect, and I'm having such a wonderful time in this physical body. I know what I need to know, I do what I need to do, and I am joyful and grateful. Gratitude is a very healthy vitamin to take. And so something like that. So whenever you feel yourself going into this doubt, this worry, this negative space, even for a flash, just imagine canceling it, erasing it, and then go into this affirmation that you say, always the same affirmation. And as I've gone through, I've had several different ones that I've used at different times, but it has to be right for you. But you want to make sure happy, healthy, and I do balanced. I think balance is key. Have balance. I have the perfect life in the perfect space, in the perfect, you know, whatever. So create that. Spend some time thinking about a really great affirmation. If you need help, Louise Hay's got lots and lots of affirmations out, lots of books on affirmations. You can go online and find affirmations, but find a perfect affirmation that feels good to you, and then just repeat that. And then you'll prevent any health issues coming up. But no matter what, you're still going to die. We're all going to die. So you can say all the affirmation. You can have perfect health right to the time the truck runs you over. And sometimes health issues are part of the experience and part of our lessons. So, if you happen to get sick after you've been saying these perfect affirmations, it's not that you failed or you did it wrong. It's just that's the experience that you need. That too is perfect for you. Many people grow the most when they have a health issue, health crisis.
Yeah.
So,
Thank you.
okay. But right now, just playing in your energy, I don't feel that you have any issues looming. So just don't pull any in.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. You're welcome. Thank you. Stacy, are you our last one? Okay, she's gone to blank, so I assume she's not there anymore. So with that, it is now 8:41. We're almost at 9 o'clock. We're almost 3 hours into this, which is why we don't do affirmation sprinkles each time. But I will do every 3 or 4 meetings. We will just do sprinkles because I think they're important for people to look at their own issues. But we'll have to sort of plan that in the future. And thank you, Josie, for reminding me. Thank you, Stacy, for reminding me. And thank you, Jennifer C. Jennifer C, next week, if you will, help me remember. And we're going to talk about compassion because compassion is very important. And we've kind of screwed that up on the planet, in Heather Harder's opinion. Anybody else have any questions or anything you want to say to me? Going once?
Well, you know me. I always got questions.
Okay. Okay.
I had an experience yesterday that I feel like
Okay, hold a second. Listen, we're not going to go into a new topic because of the hour of the time.
All right.
If you have anything you want to say as a combination or wrap up from today's session or anything from that of clarification of the session, but we don't want to go into a new topic. It just wouldn't be fair to my brain.
Yeah, I'll save it for you.
Yeah, write it down in your notes and bring it.
Always very enlightening, and I learn something all the time. So I appreciate you. Thank you.
My joy. Tell your friends. And then I've got 3 messages down there. I'm trying to figure. Okay. And again, if anybody wants private sessions, feel free to contact me. Heather@heatherharder.com. If you want to join us on Sunday night, it's a little bit more political because the politics is so important to what's going on. And then every Thursday we're here. So with that, and then if you're not on one of my subscribers for YouTube, please do so because I am breaking ground on posting on YouTube, working my way up, building courage.
Can you hear me? Yeah, there you go.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm having weird connection issues, so I don't know what's going on, but there is a quote that Esme put about your book. She said, there is something that stood out to me when I was reading about the third dimensions, and the density makes it more difficult to manifest on the physical plane. And this slowness acted as a protection from our own lower thinking and acting, and it protected us from ourselves. This was an eye-opener.
Yes. And as you accelerate your energy, as you move up that vibratory scale, you manifest much faster. So you've got to get your thoughts in line. You've got to get your everything in sync because you're going to shoot yourself in the foot, literally. But that's a great quote. Thank you for that reminder. Because I wrote these books so long ago, I don't always remember what's in them. Anybody else want anything to say or ask? Or is there anybody online?
Well, it just says pause due to poor connection, and then it's not allowing me to do anything. So I'm not sure. I'll just trust that it's done.
And trusting is a good thing.
Yeah.
If you're having a lot of control manipulation issues, then the way to heal them is just to trust, to know that everything is in divine order. everything is right with the world. And if you just affirm that, then you'll stop your need to control everything. Again, this is a big week, lots of things happening under the current. So put lots of light into it. August is going to be a completely different kind of month. Exciting. So to you all, it's been fun meeting my new friends and visiting old ones.
Thank you. Love you.
See you next Thursday.
Good night, everybody.
So much joy. It's lovely to see you again. And just a reminder too, we're exactly where we're supposed to be. Like, if we remember that we're always connected to ourselves, to our divine, we will always be in the situation that we chose to learn to grow from. So sometimes it takes that
If you
moment.
keep hitting, but if you keep getting your head hit on the same brick wall, then it might be an opportunity to look for the brick wall, look at the lessons, and quit hitting your head against the brick wall. So if you're seeing patterns, you know, so with that said, we'll
I
see you
love
next
The
week.
light bulb thing. I love that. Smashing.
Yeah, you can do a piece of paper and set it on fire and let it burn. Native Americans believe the smoke took your message of spirit, but I like seeing that it's a physicality of shattering it. It's just done. And we'll trust that she'll,
Done.
next time she comes in, let's make a report on her joy, how much happier and joyful she is. And that's a lesson for all of us. Again, it's about having fun. If you're not having fun, you're not doing it right. So I love you, right, Stace? And if you're going through the dark night souls, because you're being prepared for the next experience. Love you all. Bye.
Love and light. Thank you for joining. Wherever you are in this world, you are not alone. And we'll
I know,
hopefully-
it's so fun to have all these people from all over the world.
It is. Yeah. All right. I'm going to end the live on YouTube. Bless.
Oh, wait a minute.